Hello and welcome to the news update on Souqnews Television. We are reaching you live from our studios from the city of Lagos. I am Grace Komalafe. The Nigerian Customs Service has reaffirmed its commitment to transparent revenue generation during a sensitization lecture held in Lagos in partnership with the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission. The event themed leveraging customs enforcement to enhance revenue generation with transparency and accountability, an ICPC perspective, brought together senior customs officials and ICPC officials at the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, Ikeja. Speakers emphasizes the critical role of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit in ensuring ethical practices within the service. ICPC's Dr. Hadiza Rimi highlighted corruption and weak accountability as key obstacles to custom efficiency, while Controller Shuaibu outlined recent reforms to support exporters and improve cargo movement. The collaboration aims to strengthen public trust, reduce revenue leakages, and enhance institutional accountability in customs operations. And now the federal government is set to earn an estimated 796 billion naira annually from a newly approved 5% surcharge on locally produced and imported petrol. The levy contained in the Nigerian Tax Administration Act signed by President Bola Tinubu in June 2025 will take effect from January 2026 and is aimed at boosting non-oil revenue and promoting fiscal sustainability. Data from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority shows that petrol consumption reached 18.75 billion liters in 2024, translating to about 15.9 trillion naira at the average price of 859 per litre. However, consumer civil society group and oil marketers have rejected the move, warning that the surcharge will further increase pump prices amid worsening economic hardship. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria and Transport Union stated that the additional charge would be passed on consumers, raising costs for households and businesses. Critics describe the policy as insensitive, urging the government to prioritize regulatory reforms, accountability, and visible infrastructure improvement before imposing more financial burdens on citizens. And moving on, Nigeria has attracted over $440 million in private sector investment between May and June 2025 to expand its compressed natural gas transport program, according to the Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas. The funding focused on infrastructure, conversion kits, and logistics is part of the government's wider plan to convert 1 million vehicles and train 25,000 auto gas technicians by 2027. So far, more than 100,000 CNG kits have been deployed, with over 400 vehicles converted across 20 states. The initiative has also produced more than 800 CNG-powered buses and 5,000 tricycles to reduce transport costs and promote clean energy. With 65 monthly filling stations and 300 conversion centers already operational, the government projects over 250,000 biofuel vehicles on Nigerian roads by 2027. Officials say the program aims to cut fuel expenses by more than 500 billion naira and reduce carbon emission by 57%, while creating thousands of new jobs in the energy and transport sectors. And moving away from that, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Abubakar Bagudu says Northern States' domestic debt has fallen by 42.06% under President Bola Tinubu's economic reforms. Speaking at a Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation event in Kaduna, Bagudu explained that the region's total debt dropped from 1.98 trillion naira to 1.14 trillion naira as a result of increased federal allocations and the removal of fuel subsidies. Nationwide, domestic debt for all states and federal capital territory declined by 33.4% to 3.8 trillion naira. Bagudu said statutory revenue and value-added tax allocations to states more than doubled between May 2023 and June 2025, with northern states recording some of the largest gains. He noted that the increased fiscal space is enabling states to invest more in infrastructure, healthcare, and social projects without heavy borrowing. Major projects on the way in the north include superhighways, gas pipelines, rail networks, and upgrading healthcare facilities as part of the renewed Hope agenda. And marine stakeholders have raised alarm over Nigeria's lagoons, including Takwa Bay and Bonny, ranking among the world's worst marine dump sites. Speaking at an executive course on the blue economy for media practitioners in Lagos, Rear Admiral Francis Dan Akpan, retired, said the country's coastal waters, once vibrant hubs for fishing and ferry services, have become heavily polluted and neglected. He described Nigeria's poor marine management as sea blindness, warning that failure to act threatens future economic growth. Stakeholders criticized Nigeria's inability to harness its vast ocean resources, contrasting the nation's idle waterways with thriving marine tourism and transport industries in other countries. While acknowledging the national policy on blue economy as a good step, experts warn that weak implementation remains a major obstacle. They called for urgent action to promote marine tourism, ferry services, and sustainable ocean resource management as critical drivers of economic development. And lastly, in the news update this morning, the United States will impose a 15% tariff on imports from South Korea, lower than the previously threatened 25% rate, as part of a new trade deal announced by President Donald Trump. The agreement follows negotiations with South Korea President Lee Jae-myung and includes a pledge by South Korea to invest $350 billion in the United States and purchase $100 billion in American energy products. The deal covers investment in shipbuilding, semiconductors, nuclear power batteries, and biotechnology, while also granting United States exporters, including automakers and agricultural producers, greater access to South Korean markets without additional duties. South Korea retained limits on rice and beef imports while continuing discussions on food regulations. Trump said further South Korean investment would be announced later, describing the deal as a major step in strengthening economic ties and reducing trade tension. And that's the news this morning. We say many thanks for watching. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Souqnews Television. Souk Business Landscape comes up after this time. I am Grace Komalafe. Do have a good morning.